introduce the topic where we can say that any topic that we take, the question comes, how might we? So, how might we questions on the topic where it brings in all wonderful arrays of ideas from our speakers and where potential solutions are put forward on this Manthan platform of Hema Foundation. I, Hetal Desai, welcome the moderator, Dr. Chinuji Agrawal, renowned psychologist, psychotherapist, trustee, and advisory board, Hema Foundation, our keynote speaker, panelist, and the audience on today's topic, Inculcating Reading Habits in Children. The session will start by an introduction of the speakers by Dr. Chinuji, and once the keynote speaker and panelist put forward their points, if time permits, they can come together and have a deliberation. And it will end by a special note by our creative director, Anita G. Maheshwari. So thank you so much, everyone. Dr. Chinuji, we can start the session now.
Thank you. Can you please run the prayer because that is our protocol and then I'll take over. Namaskar, good evening everyone and welcome to this new episode of Manthan, a series of deliberations and discussions on various topics relevant to the upbringing of our children and raising a generation which we would like to see in the future. My dear friends, today's topic is inculcating reading habits in children. So, in the last few years, we have seen a steep fall in children reading. So, with the advent of gadgets and laptops and mobiles in the hands of little children, the books have somehow disappeared. So, this has become a great cause of concern, not only amongst the teachers, but also amongst the parents. And we need to deliberate as to how can we inculcate the reading habit and whether books are necessary or we can allow children to read through books, through their laptops and mobiles, and what are the things actually we can do to help them start reading again. My dear friends, let me start this program by a brief introduction about Hema Foundation and then the keynote speaker and the panelists. I hope and I trust that Hetal will let me know as and when our keynote speaker joins us. So, my dear friends, Hema Foundation is an initiative started as a philanthropic arm of RR Cables by Sri Mahendraji Kabra, who is the managing trustee of Hema Foundation, and it is dedicated to bring value education not only to our children but also to adults. Mahendraji Kabra is himself a very sensitive, kind, and responsible citizen of this country, and he has got this ambition of helping people live by values. With him and be on his side always in this service of bringing values to people is Anita G. Maheshwari, who is the creative director of Hema Foundation and who has envisioned that it is the movies that will help children imbibe values rather than just plain lecturing or bookish knowledge. And so she is phenomenal in creating 48 movies till now on these subjects, and which are very well made, and we get a feedback that they are better than most of the professional movies available on this subject till date. So Anita Ji Maheshwari, and then we have
थैंक यू सो मच चीनू मैम। विचारों का जो मंथन हम यहाँ पर करने वाले हैं, हे मंथन, इसमें आप सभी का स्वागत और अभिनंदन।
Then we have Dr. Nagpal Singh, Academic Director of Hema Foundation, who has been our guiding light, and he is a person very well versed in cognitive psychology. He's a researcher, an educationist, and a voracious reader himself. You can see the bookshelf in the background, and you can see what a great personality he is because he is amongst books always. So a warm welcome to Dr. Nagpal Singh as well. Then
Thank you so much. Very, very kind words. And this topic is really of great interest of mine. Looking forward to have something for me as well.
Ji,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Then we have Vijayam Ravi ma'am, Associate Director of Hema Foundation, an educationist par excellence. She has been the pillar of Hema Foundation because she has created integrated values curriculum in line with what NCRT wanted us to do, and she has, एक माउंट एवरेस्ट पे चढ़ने जितना काम विजय मैम ऑलरेडी हेमा फाउंडेशन के लिए कर चुकी हैं along with her team. So her blessings.
Namaste. Welcome.
We also have Rajiv Ji Bhargav, Hetal Ji Desai, and the team members of Hema Foundation who are
Dr. Chidi, you have gone mute.
so friends. Did you all hear my introducing Rajiv Ji and Hetal Ji? No?
Skipped a bit.
After that, we skipped.
Acha. So, dear friends, Hetal Ji Desai is the person who is coordinating Manthan activities since its inception, and she has done a phenomenal job of coordinating with people, of arranging all the topics. And here we are. And this is which episode, Hetal, now of Manthan?
It's, I think, the 14th.
14th episode already.
Yeah.
So
I'll check it
thanks to Hetal and her team, Akash, Arvind, and all the people behind the success of this program. Now, my dear friends, I would like to welcome our keynote speaker and panelists for the day. Has the keynote speaker joined?
Yes, she has. Akash, did you find her name? She is under some other name.
Yeah, she has. We have renamed her, but her video is off.
Okay.
Miss Maria Ansari ji, can you please switch on your video so that we can spotlight you and introduce you? Yes, there she is. Maria ji is the principal of Marvi Educare Preschool and Daycare. She has a specialty in setting up startup schools, and she has worked for schools in many places, including Varanasi, Lucknow, Mumbai, Azamgarh, and Chitrakoot. We are very glad to have you, Ms. Maria Ansari, today as our keynote speaker for this topic. Welcome. You're not audible. Please check your audio, please.
The microphone is on. There must be an issue with her handset, the headphone.
Please try speaking something now. Okay, by the time she arranges her audio, let me introduce Ms. Seema Mehta. can we spotlight her, please? She's the director of SS Agarwal School, Navsari. Navsari, that is in Gujarat. She's a resourceful school director and educator with 15 years of experience in teaching, curriculum development, supervision, and program development. So she has seen lots of children in her whole career, and we welcome you, Ms. Seema Mehta, and looking forward to have your views on this topic.
Good evening, lovely audience. Good evening, all the presenters, keynotes also. And HEMA Foundation is definitely doing a great work. And somewhere and somewhere, we all are blessed coming online on a platform where we have this time where we can share many of the ideas also. So looking forward for a good session today.
Thank you. We are looking forward to Seema ji. Then we have Dr. Deepa Bhanushali ji. She's a storyteller. And who doesn't love stories? And Deepa ji has been telling stories since 40 years now. And she has an experience as an education officer in the BMC for 25 years, working with Maharashtra Parishad and also as a research officer. And she's also teaching Sanskrit to children. So we are so glad and privileged to have you, Deepa ji. So nice to see you. Please unmute yourself so that we can hear you. Please unmute yourself. Ji.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, ma'am. I'm so happy to get connected with you people and waiting to be with you for years together henceforth. It is very late for me to join you all. I'm just only 67 years young. So let's see how things move. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Then we have Shri J.K. Agarwal ji, Principal of Aryan Public School, Ajmer, an experienced educator. Ji, sir.
It's Aryan Public School.
Aryan Public School, yes. Aryan Public School, Ajmer.
Aryan Public School.
Yeah.
Yes.
He is an experienced
Thank you so
educator
much.
with experience of 22 years and a recipient of appreciation from Ministry of HRD. He has been conferred with International School Award by the British Council. We are so privileged to have you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. And we'll be sharing our views. And I have been always listening to you on CED Foundation, also attended a few webinars, and on and often I get this privilege of listening to you. So that motivated me that you are there. So I just wanted to be one of them.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir. Look forward to your views. Then we have Jaspreet Gill. She again is an educator, served as PGT in various army public schools, Kendriya Vidyalayas and Delhi Public School as well. She has been a lecturer in Army Center of Education. She's the wife of Army officer, and hence we can imagine that she has got a rich nomadic life behind her, and she has recently been certified as a career guidance and counseling expert as well. Welcome, Jaspreet.
Thank you, ma'am. Greetings to all. It's an absolute pleasure to be in the company of such erudite personalities. I am honored. Thank you for this priceless opportunity, Chinu ma'am. I also take this opportunity to congratulate HEMA Foundation, which is, I think, doing yeoman service by conducting these HEM Manthans webinars to bring back our focus on the quintessential skills and value education, which I feel is the need of the hour for the holistic development of a young generation. I'm looking forward to a wonderful session of sharing experiences and new learnings here, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jaspreet. So, my dear friends, let me give you a brief about the format. Most of you have been attending HEM Manthan. So we'll start with the keynote speaker giving her keynote speech on the topic, and she'll have around 6 to 7 minutes to finish her whatever she wants to tell us. And then I'll invite the panelists. You will all get around 4 to 5 minutes each, and then we will sum up all the views, and then we will see whether we have been able to derive something out of this deliberation. Manthan se kya हीरे मोती निकले फिर हम सबको present करेंगे. So I just a request that I want all of you to stick to the topic and think about what is it that you can tangibly give the audience as to great ideas about inculcating reading habits. So first, let me welcome our keynote speaker, Maria. You're still not audible. We're not still.
मारिया मैम, रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे, आप जो ईयरफोन लगाए हुए हैं उसे प्लीज आप रिमूव कर दीजिए.
ईयरफोन को अपने डिवाइस से निकाल दीजिए और ईयरफोन हटा दीजिए. That will be better.
I hope I'm now audible
Yes,
to all.
yes. Now you're audible.
Okay. Now, as Sridhar ma'am said, these days children are more and more, they are more prone to most of the life with the laptops and other things. Thoda sa I'll come up with the, we usually used to say that books are our best friends. As said, when you use books uniquely, they always carry a portable magic. And these days, children have a lot of pastimes where they face the pastimes into the internet, online games, videos, and your parents are actually concerned or worried that children are not reading enough. So the topic which Hey Manthan has been selected to inculcate the reading habit in children from young age, this is very important and really, really active in these stages. I would like to share even why parents should encourage reading habits in children. Now, this is the reason I would say the first that widens knowledge, expands imagination, again improves communication among the students, better ability to comprehend, builds personality also. When I say it widens knowledge, it doesn't about only about the bookish knowledge, it gains knowledge by reading new things and become confident. Again, reading invokes confidence and deeper interest into students as well as children. Now, widens imagination and makes him learn more about the topic which he or she has chosen. Now, even while reading the books, the children can travel, time travel they can do, and they can visit unknown places which you don't even know, which all are into covered into the books. Whereas, because of the messages, the text on the Facebook they use, they learn the communication level of the communication, the gap between the communication is somewhere this deprived. And that's the reason when I say when children read books or the habit of reading is inculcated, children learn about new words, they improve vocabulary, and improves in the communication skills. Now, when I say about the better ability to comprehend, it's early reading habits. Now, usually in reading into 3 years or 3.5 and 5 years of ages, children are not prone to the reading habit. But yes, to understand the situation, these days students are children are there in the houses, and it is the analyzed to pros and cons. Also, is very very important of what is there. Now, what about the Bill's personality? If I say, children become what they read. If a person is reading, as we're having the storyteller with us, can I tell us more about it? Children become what they read, discover them their own self, enhance the social, emotional, and creative development too. Where it's lagging, the one who doesn't read much more, they do lack the personal development as well as the ability to express themselves. Now it also acts, reading also is a part of which acts as a therapy. Now, without complaining of being bored, reduced, children keep on using the mobile phones, and whereas it keeps them, books keeps them engaged, where they discover their own self, admits the books keeping them bored and on bay, and help soothe their minds too. Now, the best reading habit in our early childhood days was better remain like in sound sleep. Before going to sleep, you can go reading the books in them. Now, young in these days, children can have the screen time just to reduce the screen time. Or these days screen time has been increased a lot, everything is on the online classes and these things. So I even keep on asking the parents about to indulge them into reading, ask them to select the books of their choice. Again, after the last point which I would add, that reading is an important skill. The skill, as we start with listening. Listening is the first skill. Second, we speak about speaking skill, then the reading, and then last goes with the writing part. So reading is an important skill, and regular readers are updated on the current or the past happenings across the world. So, in short, reading is a life skill. It's an investment for which one can reap profits throughout your life. Now, to bring now, reading couldn't be only kept as a boredom, but to bring up the joy of reading in the lives of every children. And this is only possible when the parents take initiative into it by making the reading fun and creating a reading area. Especially if it's like it's sort of a book sort of, then these things are not being available to them. So parents have to take an initiative of providing them the material of their choice to make it fun, followed by making an area, setting an example. As the parents are a good readers, or the choice of selection of the books is there. Even the students select the books at their cost, and they become the good readers again. So as you take children to the malls, to the hotels, to some places, other places of the leisure hours, parents should even take up an initiative to take them to libraries or a bookstore to select the books of their choice to make it reading more worthwhile, more enjoyable. Not only the parents, even the school, being educated into the education field, I would prefer that having the mobile libraries is something which we could help students, because these days students are not able to move out of the houses, and some of the students like really miss about the libraries. So I like some of the foundations like that could even come up, pledge up with the making up of the stores that door-to-door library service to the students. This action could really be worthwhil. And some very few important tips I would add up for reading habit. Making a reading habit daily habit could be there. And if a parent read in front of a child could definitely read in that sense. Then creating a reading space, only reading and leaving it over there and not applying into the daily life is also a part half partially done. So reading in front of child and applying what has been read and re-revising it or reutilizing it into the daily life, that is very important. Now, making trips to library these days, though it's not possible, but as I said, mobile libraries could be helpful. Even the teachers or the principals of the school, if they could take the initiative of providing books to the students, to the places. And I would suggest, in spite of giving children the topic to read, let child select what to read. And let child select, and we can conquer it. Whether just keep a note what where the child is having the interest in the reading, followed by. And the final reading moments are very important. When the reading moment is taking place, that when children are reading, it is very important to capture those moments and speak about those, what have been read, how it has been read, like which topic was there, how we can utilize or in our daily life, how we can put up, what are the share areas. These things, these questions should always be there. And the favorite book should be reread. That is very important. There are several times children love reading books, and the ones which they love, we should always ask them to read it again, and that creates a more curiosity and the habit of reading once again. So more about now what kids read. It is very important these days, because along with the good things, there are a lot of the sluggish or filthy things around the center areas. So it's important for the educators or the educationists and followed by the parents to find out what the children are reading. Now the reason being into the school from past several years, and startup school is the where I had been working up. So my the major concern is the pre-primary section of the entire, and we are having running up a school with a pre-primary chain where children of the 3+ age group are there. And those the basic challenge of them, that inculcating the habit of reading at a very young age, very young age, starting the habit of reading. Now, this habit of reading could be into a picture book reading, could be into alphabetical readings or the phonic sounds, but the reading practice should be there. And that has to be extended from the parents into a daily routine life. That is something very important. Now, I would like to even share one uh, PDF. it is a small presentation I had done just to have more interest over it.
I think, Maria ji, you have already covered these points. Can you please wind up your speech quickly now?
The last screen share I would do, that is the reasons why you should inculcate the habit of reading at young age. Again, the points which I would sum up with the entire topic, which improves the communication, extends vocabulary, can express better and build individuality, follows by develops imagination and leadership skills. With this, I would end up with saying the happy reading and continue with such things.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maria ji. And she has really brought up a few points which are very important to consider. एक तो इन्होंने बताया कि पेरेंट्स अगर रीड करेंगे तो बच्चे अपने आप रीड करेंगे. दूसरा इन्होंने पेरेंट्स के ऊपर एक और जिम्मेदारी सौंपी. यू हैव टू मेक रीडिंग फन. If you insist on reading and if you are not involved in their reading habits, then it will just be an imposition. और जितना आप उनको impose करेंगे उतना वो reading से और दूर भागेंगे. उनको जबरदस्ती नहीं पढ़ाया जा सकता. So, Maria ji, thank you so much for these wonderful points. I'll come back to your points when we are doing a discussion. Before that, I would like others to bring up their points as well. So I now invite our first panelist, Seema Ji Mehta.
Good evening, everyone. I do agree with you, ma'am, when you said that impose is a different thing over here. What I believe just now is, I'll just start my moment, my screen share. Yes, I hope it is visible, everyone.
Yes, it is very much visible.
Okay. Ma'am, I did understand that when you said imposition is another thing, and even when Maria ma'am said that, the one point which I liked was at a very young age. Basically, she's stressed as she's working with these young kids also, but that is literally very important, because when you ask a student when he is of age of 10 and then you say, okay, you start reading and everything, it does not help. So here, each teacher and a parent associated with us should understand that reading has to be done at a very young age. And the better if they start reading with you, so that you have books into the house. Another thing which I liked very much of ma'am when she said was, be reading the book. There is a study showing us that once if you read a book for once, the student will remember after it will remain fresh for hardly 10 minutes or an hour. But then again, if you go on rereading the books, then it is going to help you. If you reread the book once, after a month, it is going to help you when you remember only 30% of it. If you read the books twice, after a month, you are going to remember 50% of the book. But in a month, if you read those books and go down to those points or talk about those points and discuss about the point with someone 4 times, then you are going to remember those things for a long time. So here our thing is, the thing which you believe, you have to go on discussing it and go on speaking and go on reading on it. If we say reading, people are writing books from centuries. There are still people who are still writing at the moment also. But the thing is, reading has to be like a workout. As we have a physical exercise for our body, the reading is an exercise that is going to be for our mind. Looking down to the points, as ma'am said, these are the points. I will not go much into the details. By we acquire knowledge, the memory is being improved by it, and there are many critical and analytical skills that by reading and rereading can be happened. One person advance a career by reading also. improves writing skills, conversation skills. Here when we say reduce stress, there are books which lightens up your mood. So I would believe that students should start reading those books. Nowadays, as we can see, education is a burden to the students. So, a student should read those books so that the person can be fresh and feel happy about it. Then but naturally, a student has to learn on its own pace. It is not that, when one student says that I have read 25 pages a day, now the student will feel, okay, oh, 25 pages. It's not that. Even a 2 minutes read is also necessary just now. So each student and each person is different, reading at their own pace also. Yes, a better sleep is possible for the adults also, and even for young students also. It is a source of companionship. Here, I would like to add, Bill Gates always has books along with him in his bags whenever he travels. He does not talk too much with the people, and he sees that he reads couple of books so that he can work on those books and he can discuss some points on books. Another thing I would like to add here is books always brings up ideas. So when you read the books, when you discuss the books, and then you come with new ideas. There are many importance that, as we discussed earlier, which a young generation people, students should understand. So a teacher must make all these points understood by those students, improve communication and better comprehend, and all these points which we have already discussed. I will directly to go to some more important points. Is yeah, some habits that some great leaders have. That is, what a teacher should do is tell them a story. As a storyteller, ma'am, we already have Deepa ma'am over here. I am very sure you will agree with this.
Yes.
Not to explain the whole story to the students and stop at one point of time, so that the students visualize it, start thinking also, and then creates on its own. When the child creates, when the child reads, come with so many comprehension in words. Here, there are many role of a teachers also, as we discussed. The main part which we come here is there are activities that the teacher has to do so that the students, the main topic that we come, a thirst of the knowledge for the students. And the students start reading the books with passion. For your storytelling sessions can be done by the teachers, book banks and newsletters, so that a child's name has been added in the books bank, and many of the newsletters that a school has to subscribe. Book quiz competitions, book reviews and book talks. This is a very important, and I have found in my school book reviews and book talks has been done extensively, and the students does it with passion. In this book talks, I also see that each member of the school, each teacher or each person working over there can also participate. It is fun for the students. Drama based on the books that the students read, public speaking, group discussions, storytelling sessions, open access library, project work method. What I mean by this project work method is to give them some projects which is beyond your syllabus, beyond the academic, so that the child goes to the internet to search R&D, goes to the library, and then does it. Book review methods, hanging libraries. The hanging libraries, this is usually which we have done in the kids of the primary and the lower primary, so that when they see the books, they feel happy and excited and they would like to read the book. Audio video sessions, poetry, communication skills and workshops. Then the most one which I hear is the theme reading activities around the time of the year. What we usually do is we ask the students to make articles regarding any of the theme. For example, if we have any of the festivals coming, we ask them to make the articles. One student will make an article, another student will read. So that it becomes fun for the students also. Another, as I said, is reread the favorite book. This is what we again do it also. We also see that we make a timetable where you must also be thinking that drop everything and read. This is one of the period where we see that the students are zero period, where we put a period where the students does not have to do anything, and the students can are allowed to choose any of the book from the library according to his choice. And then I have listed a few books. I'll be sharing with the PPTs also a few books if a teacher or a parent a 5 year, a 10 year, 15 years, and the best books for the free teachers, which I have found out, where everyone can, go through it. So thank you so much. I hope it might be helpful to the parents or any of those teachers, educators over here. I'm
Thank you
open for
so much. Thank
discussion.
you. Thank you so much, Seemaji. You have put in a lot of effort to put up this PPT, and they are the points that you have put up are really useful. I will reserve my comments for the moment and I will invite the other panelists, and then we will have a discussion on the wonderful points and wonderful ideas that you have shared with us. So let us now invite Deepa ji. We are very keen to have you.
Yeah, I know that. Very good evening to everyone. I'm going to, of course, talk in a story format and in a very lightly way, not as a theoretical part. In 1980, when I was in London, a family was staying with me with a kid of 10 months. And the baby had a book in her hand with the music and the 2 pages of the color picture. And the baby was just rocking that pages and listening to the noise and looking at the picture. So I think the reading starts from that age itself. At the age of 10 months, I'm talking about when child is able to sit on their own. So the child starts reading with the visualizing the pictures, visualizing the objects, understanding the name, and then relating name to identify in the letters whatever language he is learning. So identification of the object in the format of letter is nothing but reading what I mean. It is first, I think it's a mother's job who is with the child from the childhood, who has to sit next to the baby or the child and be with her with the book with the lots of pictures in it, because picture reading and then the reading of the words goes hand in hand. So when mother sits with the child goes on just scrolling the book at his own way, maybe first page, then the 10th page, whatever way, but child is observing and cultivating he's having inverting the ideas of interest in the reading. So slowly the child starts growing up, then we go with the rhyming words and then with the poem. The poem reading is also a fun. Poem is having a big picture with the small sentences, and where the child feels like reading that because that gives the meaning to the picture which is given aside. So that poem reading is also very important. Many a times when I was also a child in first standard, I still remember there was a first lesson where there was a mother holding a baby in the hand, and only 2 lines were there in Marathi, that look at the baby, this is a baby. There were the 2 sentences in Marathi. So I was just opening that page without understanding the alphabet, looking at the picture, I used to say these 2 sentences. So that was a reading, and my parents used to say, my God, she can read, she's so good. And this encouragement, that now I'm feeling like laughing, but this was the encouragement. This was the courageous word which parents are supposed to give the pat on the back, say, wow, great, you can do it. Instead of finding out the fault of a reading, even by the teacher or by the parent, it is always an encouragement, giving a star, pat on the back, buck upping, saying some small gift, maybe a pencil, maybe a chocolate. This encourage child to do that activity again and again, and which is, of course, we are talking about reading now. When I'm a storyteller, of course, stories makes a child to read and read and read. A teacher and or a mother can also say some part of the story, and the child gets curious. What next? What next? Then the mother or a teacher can next to the child start turning the page, taking the help of the pictures, and start reading the words once upon a time, and then the story goes. And the child builds up its curiosity because he has already aroused his interest, because there is some tricks, there is some magic, there is some fairy tale, there is some cartoon, there is some zigzag things happening, some music, dhan, dun. So while reading also, I feel as a teacher, if she can give some effect of some background, and there was a big bang, when that bang will come, the teacher has to say dumb, something like that. So the child, yeah, so this, because I'm a psychiatrist and also counselor, it affects a lot. Child feels like reading, and then reading also, he also makes a sound. It is not about the sound, it is about the enjoyment, it is about building him interest in doing that. We can always have some small dialogues and ask the child to read and arrange it. Maybe Peppa Pig, maybe Rapunzel, maybe some fairy tale, maybe Mickey and Donald, of their interest, whatever age group. I always feel that reading should be developed at the age of very small, that is 2 years, 2.5 years, or 3 years. Then automatically, when they grow, there is no need of asking him. You have to tell them stop reading and do something else, because they become pustakasa kida. We call it in Marathi. They become worm of that book. So much they are after reading. Of course, so both the speakers have said that it gives knowledge. It is a window for the world. All those things are there. But when we listen to the interesting name, a rainbow fish, when I say the rainbow fish, I'll be after that book. Where I'll get that book? The name itself is so attractive. So parents should bring, or the teachers also in the starting should have such type of collection of books, which the name itself, the first page of the book itself is so attractive. The child feels like holding that book, opening the book, just scrolling it, looking back side, front side, and tries to find out something and ask somebody's help to help him to read that. So this is very important, I feel, ma'am. This is my experience. You can also make the child to read through the games, ma'am. You can arrange the strips and make them to rearrange them. You can have a crossword puzzles. They can use the different words which they have newly read. You can have a sentence formation. You can even play the treasure hunt. A teacher can have chits of papers on which some words are written, or maybe some emotions are written, maybe some sentences are written, and kept it some in the different places. And teacher will give the clue, and the child has to go pick up that chit and read for the class. So reading can make interesting by different way, and children really love reading. So in the house, it is a parent's duty that they should build up interest in the child, and first parent also should sit with the child to read. Parents should not
Exactly.
look at the TV and say the child, you read the book, I'm till that time I'm just
And
watching the news. No, that won't do. So that
exactly,
should be,
exactly.
yes, they should sit with the child and show that they are also with the child. You can always have cartoons, you can have some babies, some magazines which are having the interested things which child interest, and the parents should show that as if they are so much interested. I know it is so boring to read at this age that cartoons and Mickey and Donald, but when we sit with the child and show the interest, oh, what happened next? Oh, what that Mickey did? Oh, what that Donald did? Ask the questions. When the child is reading, put up small, small questions. So the child takes more lot of interest and shows, oh, it is here. See here, mommy, what I'm reading. It is written here. So they show you and they get encouraged so much. So praising is very important. So I can say that if there is a rhyme in a life, if there is a music in your talk, if there is an interest in a book, if there is a visualization effect, and everything are five sensory organs, you can taste the book, you can smell the book, you can get the smell of the book, which you like the book, you get the smell of that book, you can feel the book, you enjoy the book. And I can say that it is like a rhyming. If I say, I see a cat, cat see a rat, rat is fat, cat is fat, cat and rat sat on the mat. Done, done, done. This rhyme, my God, what a pleasure children will enjoy. I just don't want to make that change the subject. The test will go because theory part, these people have said a lot, but practically I have told you how you can do at the pre-primary level, at the primary
Yes.
level, and when the baby is small in our house. Thank you so much,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, Deepaji. Wonderful inputs by you as to how we can inculcate actually the reading habits, and you have shared such wonderful practical ideas. And we will come back to your ideas also in a while. Let me first invite Shri J.K. Agarwalji to put forth his views on inculcating reading habits in children.
Yeah, namaste to
Ji,
all.
sir.
Am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
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 sir.
very
Yes,
much.
sir.
Okay. Actually, the most important aspect why I think, I have divided my talk in three different points. Point number one, why is it so important that children should read? We are talking about, okay, there should be inculcation of reading habit. Were there people who could get success even without reading? There must have been some time before that those who could not read and they had the experience of life and they could still survive. Not only survive, in fact, they could be highly successful in their endeavors because those were the times of different kind. But now, when we are in 21st century, we are talking about 21st century skills, communication skill, for example, leadership skill, And there is a famous saying that readers are the leaders. So now this is the need of the hour, to read. So where there is a way, there is a will, there is a way. Firstly, the child, like I give example of my daughter when she was a very young child, and whenever she was ill because of any problem, any kind of ailment happened to her, she never used to take any medicine, and it was a difficult task to give. But once, like, I had to convince her why you should take medicine, and with that she could understand that yes, it's important for me to take medicine and I'll be all right. And then her mother, even she was also very surprised कि तुमने क्या जादू किया इस पे, अभी कैसे ले रही है medicine. The very first thing, the need of the hour is, let us make them understand why it is so very important for us to read. Otherwise, even if they have cultivated the habit, it will not be in a fruitful manner. See, as far as, of course, I do endorse the views of my fellow speakers. They have been saying that they will be able to inculcate good language. See, children are genetically predisposed to learn languages. We are all genetically predisposed. We will be learning language whichever the environment, the kind of environment we are in. Here in India, English has become so very important that everybody, we are talking about vocabulary and the pronunciation and all the other things. And but then, apart from that, reading is just for vocab only? No, vocab is a secondary thing. Reading is for different ideas. One of the fellow speakers, worthy speaker, I really loved her ideas, what she was saying. She gave an example of Bill Gates. He reads, of course, he reads one book a week, but that's again can be done. So the very first thing, the very first part of my talk is why it is so important, and it is important from the point of view of being with the time. Otherwise, there is no need. Recently, 4 or 5 days back, only on from Hema Foundation, one of the GK question was this only: which country is the largest readers country, book lovers? And of course, India was the right answer. Even US was also among the one of the options. So yeah, we're nowhere lacking. It's not like our children are not reading, but yes, how, why it should be done, and then we can come to the how point. And find, once there is a will, there is a way. Of course, if somebody doesn't know what to read, how to read, there are ways out, and we'll be able to find them out. The only thing is, उस चिंगारी को जलाना जरूरी है कि पढ़ना क्यों जरूरी है, वो आग जरूरी है. So एक बार वो आ गई, they will be able to understand, they will be reading it. And then there are various ways, thousands of different ideas can be taken. Like, one of the unique ideas which I came across here while serving as principal to Aryan Public School, Ajmer. Here, there is a very unique method which is applied is dear time. Drop everything and read. Drop everything and read. It means there is always an effort from the school side that you drop everything. We don't need homework from, we don't need anything. You just read only. So that's again, the same thing can be done at homes. And of course, like the first speaker was keynote speaker. She was saying that yes, parents should be the example. Now, Indian scenario, in every house, in every given case, parents cannot be the example. I'm not contradicting any way idea, but I'm coming to a practical way of things. How practically possible that parents can be example, a father who is going to a factory and the whole day he's serving there as a laborer, and he doesn't have anything to do with reading except some newspaper or something here and there. But even then, there should be example in some way or the other. So what my take here, what I would suggest that, okay, some way or the other, like there was one idea of creating a reading area. So in that area, okay, or a particular time, like at my home, when previous year, again, the same kind of lockdown situation was there. So we all four of us, my daughter, my son and wife, we were sitting together and exchanging our ideas from the books that we were coming across, we were reading. So this can be done. So this is what, but then there are distractions, social media, for instance. But that again has, every coin has two sides. Similarly, social media, there are lots of different and long posts. Read, there is lot of there are a lot of takeaways from there as well. But then books, different writers, authors, their liking, disliking. So we do get ideas. So what I mean to say is, uh, first thing, let us make them understand why it is so very important for us, for a person to read. And then there are ways, and finding ways, of course, lack of role model. But the biggest hindrance that we find, the biggest obstacle is, and I don't say it is an obstacle, the school text. There are so much of syllabus. There is so much of syllabus. Reading for pleasure is not there. Reading for understanding, reading for their personal growth, reading different writers, it's not there. Like now he is in class 12, then he's all the time with his textbooks. He's with his all the time with his accountancy and economics and mathematics and everything. So how, last time I suggested him a book, which I also came across, and I found him the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and he was reading and he found it very interesting. So then
I
this is the
will have
basic
to
idea.
interrupt you, Agrawal sir. Uh, your time is up. If you can wind up your ideas
Okay.
in another minute.
Yeah, I'm just winding up. Uh, Basically, the idea is our children, they should know the importance of it. Then ways, different ways they can be derived, they can be found. There are thousands of different ways of doing it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your ideas, and we'll further discuss on them because I want to hear Jaspreet as well. To
Yes, thank you, ma'am.
come up.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I've been
Ma'am, I
waiting
would,
for your time, and so I did not want you to wait much. That's why I invited you immediately.
uh,
Yeah.
ma'am, I would say I would agree with my co-panelists when they say I would suggest catch them young. I feel children are like little monkeys. They will imitate you. So we need to lead them by example, by being their role models. If your child sees you regularly picking up a book, he's more likely to do the same. And then you can end up having a lovely ritual of you and your child sharing reading time at the end of a hectic day. Now, I would reinforce it with an example that not only parents, others, teachers can also, help child. You never know what might tick for your child. Now, it so happened that when we moved to a new station, my daughter joined a school, which was about 40 to 50 minutes of bus ride. Now there was there was a teacher who boarded from the same stop, and this teacher would carry a novel to read. My daughter was in second standard. Now my child was highly amused by the idea of sitting next to the teacher in the bus and reading like her. So she followed suit, and she started, what started as a fascination for her has become an indispensable habit. Now it is a non-negotiable habit. Even as she is a doctor in the army, still she carries a book in her handbag because she never says kya pata kab time mil jaye kuch padhne ka. So that is what I mean by saying that catch them young and help them, set examples for them. So this teacher really set the clock ticking for my daughter. Then secondly, ma'am, my co-panelists emphasized on joyful and enjoyable reading. Yes, we must encourage it. And I would suggest to encourage and show our children that reading is not just sitting with a book at home or at school, but it is everywhere in between. We need to guide them in finding what I think Maria ma'am also said, reading moments in daily life. How? You know, while going on the road, they can read the road signs, then the billboards. If they're accompanying you to the grocery shop, you give them the list to read out. They can read out recipes. And better still, ma'am, this is tried and tested by me. I write little notes. I used to write little notes for my kids and stick them on the mirror or put them by the bedside or in the tiffin box also. And the children love to read such notes and feel connected and loved. Mirror pe laga do, wow, looking smart. Next day laga do, you're getting late. So, you know, the children, they start that reading is not only monotonous reading, it can be fun also. Now, ma'am, when I come to everybody's discussed about the junior school and pre nursery and junior classes, I've dealt with the senior students. So I have a 4 steps formula to encourage them to read. Now, firstly, I share my reading experiences with the children. For this, ma'am, as a teacher or a parent, we need to tell us children about the book. You can tell your students or your child about the book you've recently read, about the plot, the characters, the lesson learned, or any information you gained. You could even read out a small part of the book to just whet their appetite. And as they grow now, ma'am, you you won't want them to be barking at the print, जो English में बोलते हैं, reading without understanding. So now you want them to chew and digest the information that or whatever the content they are reading. So here I follow again 3-step formula for the students exclusively. First is organize reading challenges for them. Now what I do is I challenge my students when during the beginning of the academic session, I challenge them to complete as many books as they can before they move to the next standard. And invariably, this is equal to the number of students in the class. Now, why? Because I tell each one of them to buy just one book and preferably an abridged version of the classics. Me being an English teacher, please excuse me for this. And then I divide them into groups of 4. Now, by the end of a month or probably month and a half, 4 people have read 4 books. Now, the second step. Now, you need to encourage the children to interact and socialize when reading. Now, this will lead to what is called verbal processing. This will not only enhance the reading experience, but this will also help them to communicate better and be critical and analytical. And once they start sharing their views and opinions with each other, this will bring a change in their entire perspective of reading. Like what sir said, that they should understand why they are reading. Now they will know that, you know, they will put forth their views about reading. Then, ma'am, next is tell them to track their own progress by forming scrapbooks or reading journals, wherein they note down the books that they have read, the new words or phrases that interested them, or their likes and dislikes, their views about authors in comparison by some different authors. Now, at the end of the session, they can even paste pictures. I once told them to paste pictures of them reading books at different places, wherever they read it. There's a specific book and a photograph. And they all really enjoyed this. And at the end of the session, when they see that book and they are, wow, ma'am, humne itni books pad li. So this is really fun for children. Another idea I would like to share is, if your children are not really interested, like I started teaching them King Lear and they were not interested. और मैं लगी हुई थी Shakespeare, not interested. Then I did some Google search and I found that Omkara movie is made on
King Lear.
yes, on Othello. So I told them this. And फिर कयामत से कयामत तक is based on Romeo and Juliet. That did the magic. And they first saw the movie, no doubt, but then they brought the abridged version and read it. And that worked for them. So these are, ma'am, few of the ideas I use with my children. So I don't know if they can help parents also and other teachers also.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Jaspreet. And my dear friends, this entire session has been so much full of ideas and information, and I myself feel enriched by today's session. I would advise all of you to go through this session once again, because that is what I am going to do. Because I did not carry a pen and paper right now, and now I am repenting. अब मुझे पछतावा हो रहा है कि इतने सारे अच्छे ideas Inculcate reading के सब लोगों ने दिए. Besides the keynote speaker Seema Mehta ji, then Deepa ji, Agarwal ji and Jaspreet ji, all have contributed a whole lot of ideas to this topic. My dear friends, to organize this discussion, let me give you a small structure. So let us say reading is both a behavior and an ability. एक तो रीडिंग जो है, पढ़ना जो है, वो एक व्यवहार है. इट इज अ बिहेवियर. तो बहुत सारे जो आपके आइडियाज हैं जो आज पैनल डिस्कशन में हमें मिले, वो व्यवहार में चले जाएंगे. So like when you say that become a role model, whether if you are a teacher or a parent, so creating a conducive environment in the home or in the school or wherever will help them to pick up these behaviors. So that becomes reading as a behavior. Reading को as a behavior कैसे inculcate करें. और दूसरा है reading as an ability. So here, my dear friends, some of the children will have this intrinsic propensity towards reading. वो जैसे जेके अग्रवाल जी ने भी बोला कि we are genetically predisposed to language learning. बहुत ज़्यादा उसमें हमको करना नहीं पड़ेगा. But there will be some children who will find it difficult. So जिसको हम reading disability भी कहते हैं या reading difficulty भी कहते हैं, तो उनको अंदर से ही रीड करने में दिक्कत आएगी. जब हमको अंदर से रीड करने में दिक्कत आएगी या कोई भी काम करने में दिक्कत आएगी, तो क्या होगा, ऑटोमेटिकली उसमें हमारा इंटरेस्ट डेवलप नहीं होगा. बिकॉज एबिलिटी नहीं है तो अचीवमेंट नहीं है, अचीवमेंट नहीं है तो हमारा मोटिवेशन कम हो जाएगा. मोटिवेशन कम होने से देन वी विल नॉट बी इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट एक्टिविटी. उसके लिए आप लोगों के बहुत सारे आइडियाज सामने आए, जिसमें से एक आइडिया जो आया वो ये है, वी शुड हेल्प देम, जैसे दीपा जी ने कहा, विथ हाई कंटेंट, विथ लो कंटेंट एंड हाई डिजाइन. सो पिक्चर रीडिंग, जहां पर दे डोंट हैव टू एक्सर्ट और स्ट्रेन देमसेल्व्स सो मच, और आसानी से वो लोग पिक्चर्स देखने में उनका इंटरेस्ट आ जाए, और छोटे छोटे वर्ड्स, छोटी छोटी राइम्स में इंटरेस्ट आ जाए. So that is one thing that we can do to inculcate the ability of reading. One more thing जो सारे ही पैनलिस्ट ने emphasize किया, और मैं भी अपने जीवन में मैंने भी ये देखा, जैसे कि उन्होंने कहा कि readers are leaders. जब आप किसी को देखोगे जिसको थोड़ा सा ज्ञान है या जो अच्छी बातें करता है या जो अपनी लाइफ में सक्सेसफुल है, उनके बैकग्राउंड में, उनके बचपन में आपको साहित्य मिलेगा, उनके बचपन में आपको रीडिंग की हैबिट मिलेगी. एक बार स्वामी जी बता रहे थे, हमारे जो स्वामी जी हैं गोविंद देव गिरी जी, जो हेमा फाउंडेशन के ट्रस्टी भी हैं और हमारे गुरु भी हैं, कि मैं बोले एक छोटे से गांव में था और वहाँ पर एक सरकारी स्कूल में पढ़ता था. तो हमारे जो एक अध्यापक थे, उन्होंने अपने, छोटा सा उनका घर था, उस समय अध्यापक कोई बहुत बड़े लोग नहीं होते थे। अब तो अध्यापकों की तनख्वाहें 2-3 लाख रुपए होती है, डॉक्टरों से भी बड़े बड़े होते हैं वो। उस समय तो वो बहुत ही डेडिकेटेड कम्युनिटी थी जो केवल पढ़ाने के लिए थे, और बहुत ज्यादा पैसे वाले और बड़े नहीं होते थे। उनका छोटा सा घर था, 2 कमरे का, एक सामने का कमरा, एक पीछे का कमरा। सामने के कमरे में उन्होंने किताबें रख रखी थी, और वो हमको बुलाते थे कि आ जाओ शाम को मेरे घर, और हम लोग भाग भाग के उनके घर जाते थे, और वो किताबें जो थी वो हम पढ़ते थे। बोलते थे बैठ जाओ, जिसको जो चाहिए वो ले लो, और फिर वो पढ़ के हम ऐसे ही पटक के आ जाते थे। उन्होंने कभी हमें डांटा नहीं, उन्होंने कभी ये नहीं कहा कि तुमने ये किताब यहाँ की वहाँ क्यों नहीं रखी, उसको वहाँ क्यों नहीं रखा, इसको फाड़ दिया, ये कर दिया, वो कर दिया। हम चले जाते थे, उसके बाद वो 1 घंटा सारी किताबें संगवाते थे खुद, जो फट जाती थी उसको टेप लगाते थे, अगले दिन फिर हमको बुलाते थे, और जितना उनके पास पैसा बचता था उससे किताबें खरीदते रहते थे बच्चों के लिए। बोले उन्होंने जो हमें दिया, शायद हमें करोड़ों के खर्च करने के बाद भी नहीं मिल सकती थी, वो है रीडिंग हैबिट। एंड माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, मैं अपने जीवन में भी ये देखती हूँ। मेरे पापा ने अभी शायद ज्वाइन किया था, पता नहीं है कि नहीं है इस मीटिंग में, पर उनको आज ये बात पता चल जाएगी क्योंकि मैं आप लोगों से शेयर कर रही हूँ, उनसे कभी शेयर नहीं करी। हम लोग 4 बहनें हैं और 1 भाई है हमारा। तो भाई हमारा बहुत सीधा है, पर चारों बहनें बहुत चतुर है। कैसे कि हमको मम्मी का काम ना करना पड़े घर का, इसलिए हम अपने पापा की दुकान में जाके बैठ जाते थे, और हमारे पापा की दुकान थी किताबों की। वहां पर लेकर और किताबें पढ़ते रहना, और ये दिखाना हम तो दुकान संभाल रहे हैं, हम तो पापा का इतना काम करवा रहे, घर के काम से भी बच गए और उधर किताबें पढ़ने के लिए भी मिल गई। हमारा पूरा बचपन किताबें पढ़ने में गुजरा। एंड माय फादर यूज्ड टू रीड टिल लेट नाइट। दुकान से आने के बाद 1:30-2 बजे तक वो पढ़ते थे, तो हम सारी बहनें अपनी अपनी किताब लेकर उनके साथ, पापा तो नहीं सोए तो हम भी नहीं सोएंगे, वी विल ऑल्सो कीप रीडिंग। सो मेकिंग द एनवायरमेंट कंड्यूसिव will make the behavior of reading, and taking efforts to inculcate the ability will make it interesting for them to go on reading further. So thank you so much for such a wonderful discussion, and all of you have done real justice to this topic. I'm really so happy to have this elite panel today. Thank you so much once again. And now I invite Anita ji to say her part of the story.
थैंक यू चीनू मैम। मुझे लगता है आज इस विषय के ऊपर सभी कुछ कवर हो गया है। बच्चों के बारे में हमने बहुत सी बातें की, लेकिन बड़े होने के बाद मैं अपना एग्जांपल देती हूँ कि शायद हम बच्चे थे तब बहुत किताबें पढ़ते थे क्योंकि एनवायरनमेंट भी वैसा मिलता था, पर एक टाइम के बाद शायद लाइफ में इतने ऑक्यूपाइड हो जाते हैं कि हम बुक्स पढ़ना कई हद तक बंद कर देते हैं, स्पेशली हाउसवाइफ्स। मैं एग्जांपल दूंगी डॉक्टर नागपाल का, जिन्होंने मुझे क्यूरियोसिटी जगाई। बहुत सारी चीजें वो मुझे इंफॉर्मेशन देते रहते थे, और इंफॉर्मेशन देते हुए मुझे लगता था ये मुझे जानना चाहिए, अगर ये मुझे जानना चाहिए तो ये कहाँ है, तो ये कहते ये उस किताब में है, मैंने इतना बताया, बाकी अब आप पढ़ो, और पढ़ के फिर हम इस पर डिस्कस करेंगे। तो मुझे लगता है कि क्यूरियोसिटी जगाना ये भी बहुत एक इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है जो कि कहीं खो सा गया है, क्योंकि जब तक हम में क्यूरियोसिटी नहीं होगी, नहीं जागेगी, तब तक हम उस बुक को पढ़ेंगे नहीं। एंड एक कविता के साथ ही मैं आज का ये सेशन एंड करना चाहूंगी कि किताबें जो होती है, कुछ होती है हल्की और कुछ होती है भारी। किताबें कुछ होती है हल्की और कुछ होती है भारी, लेकिन इनमें होती है दुनिया की हर जानकारी। अक्सर कुछ नया करने की इनसे ही बनता ख्वाब है, और जिंदगी में सबसे अच्छा दोस्त कोई और नहीं, किताब है। ज्ञान की ये खान है और होती बहुत महान है, जीवन ये इंसान का बदले तभी तो इसकी शान है। क्या बीता और क्या होगा, सबका इसमें हिसाब है। जिंदगी में सबसे अच्छा दोस्त कोई और नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ किताब है। कबीर के दोहे हैं इसमें और संतों की इसमें वाणी है। पढ़कर लाभ ही होता है, होती ना हमें कोई हानि है। कोई ऐसा प्रश्न नहीं जिसका ना इसमें जवाब है, क्योंकि जिंदगी में सबसे अच्छा दोस्त कोई और नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ किताब है। मंजिल पर जो पहुंचाती है वही तो ये राह है। हर जिज्ञासु के मन में इसको पाने की चाह है। ये तो वो सागर है, ये तो वो सागर है जिसमें भरा ज्ञान में आब है। आब यानी कि अमृत। जिंदगी में सबसे अच्छा दोस्त कोई और नहीं, सिर्फ और सिर्फ किताब है। तो मुझे लगता है कि हमें एक हैबिट और डालनी चाहिए इस किताब के साथ, गिफ्ट देने की। हम जो गिफ्ट देते हैं, मुझे लगता है छोटे बच्चे भी अगर अपने नाम के साथ अपने, उनको कहो कि अपना ऑटोग्राफ लिख के आप दोस्तों को बर्थडेज में आप बुक गिफ्ट करिए, तो वो उनको भी इतना अच्छा लगेगा। और आप पढ़िए ताकि आप उस बच्चे को, अपने फ्रेंड को भी बताओ कि इस बुक में क्या है। तो मुझे लगता है कि वो डिस्कशन करने से उन्हें वो याद भी होगा। इसी तरीके से हम बड़े भी, चाहे हमारे यहाँ कोई आए या हम कहीं जा रहे हो, तो हमें हमेशा बुक्स गिफ्ट करने की आदत होनी चाहिए। तो ये एक और अच्छा सॉल्यूशन था जो शायद कहीं से नहीं आया। तो मैं इसमें ये देना चाहूंगी। थैंक यू सो मच चीनू मैम।
थैंक यू सो मच अनीता जी।
वन मोर थिंग मैम, एक हमारे साथ लक्ष्मी नारायण जी मुदानी भी जुड़े हुए हैं। मैं इन्हें कई बार पहले भी मैंने इनके बारे में बताया है, और मैं स्पेशली देख रही हूँ पिछले 1 साल से हम ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म पे हैं, और ये मुझे लगता है एक भी वेडनेसडे इन्होंने मिस नहीं किया है, चाहे हमारे हेम बर्चूज के वेबिनार्स थे और शायद अब हेम मंथन के हैं। तो मैं अंकल जी को कब से देख रही थी और मैंने नोटिस किया था, तो मैंने कहा आज स्पेशली अंकल का नाम लेके मैं बोलती हूँ। थैंक यू सो मच अंकल, हम सभी को आप मोटिवेट करने के लिए हमेशा आते हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। हेतल अनम्यूट करिए एक बार लक्ष्मी नारायण जी मुदानी को।
थैंक यू वेरी मच।
अंकल म्यूट हो गए।
आवाज आई थी, अब चली गई दोबारा।
हाँ, अभी
आप सब लोगों से हमेशा मुझे कुछ न कुछ सीखने को मिलता है। मैं अपने गांव के अंदर एक स्कूल चलाता हूं जिसमें 150 बच्चे पढ़ते हैं, इंग्लिश मीडियम के, अपनी 5th। तो मैं इसीलिए इससे जुड़ा था कि वो सब चीजें हम अपने स्कूल में इम्प्लीमेंट कर सकें जो मैं इससे सीखता हूं, अपने बच्चों पर भी और स्कूल के बच्चों पर भी। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
थैंक यू सो मच अंकल, और हमको आप इंस्पिरेशन देते हैं, हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है।
हमारे लिए बहुत ही बड़ा प्रोत्साहन है। थैंक यू सो मच अनीता जी, अंकल जी को इनवाइट करने के लिए। और नागपाल जी, आपको मैं नहीं बोलने नहीं दूंगी। आप बहुत देर से इंतजार कर रहे हो कि चीनू मैम मुझे बोलने देंगी कि नहीं देंगी। Of course, this is a topic where you want to say something, so please welcome.
Just one minute. I start with
No,
my.
Take a few minutes.
Actually, I handed over a few books to some of my colleagues to inculcate reading habits in them. They were alike Anita ji, and one of them returned the book after 7 days with good thanks. He told me, "Sir, thank you so much for giving me this book. I felt so inspired." I thought, okay, I really have created another reader. Then I said, "What did you learn?" He told me, "Sir, मेरे को बहुत दिनों से ठीक से नींद नहीं आ रही थी."
तो मैं बुक खोलती हूँ और सो जाती हूँ, तो ये मेरे लिए।
I realized it was my mistake and I introspected myself. सबने बहुत अच्छा बोला है, but I will sum up this whole talk in 4 points and tried and tested. I'm telling you, there are 4 steps. Number 1, in any school or any educational institute or any environment, it is necessary for the subject to familiarize with it. आप हर स्टूडेंट को हर बुक नहीं दे सकते, so you need to familiarize first.
सर 1 मिनट, मैं इसमें एक बात ऐड करती हूँ। मैंने बताया कि हम चारों बहनों का एक सीधा सा भाई है, तो ये रीडिंग नहीं करता था बिल्कुल भी, एंड ही वाज अ फैन ऑफ क्रिकेट। तो मेरी मम्मी ने क्या करा, न्यूज़पेपर में जो क्रिकेट का कॉलम आता था ना लास्ट का, तो मम्मी उसको केवल वो पढ़ के सुनाने के लिए बोलती थी। बोलते थे क्रिकेट में देख कल की मैच का आया है, so he started reading that. So this is exactly what Dr. Nagpal is trying to say कि वो उसका इंटरेस्ट है, वहां से शुरुआत.
And it is very important for us to know the interest of children. Third standard student, if you'll give him Julius Caesar, you know, it is not going to come. And 12th standard student, if you'll give him economics, whereas a student of biology.
अनीता जी, इतना बढ़िया टॉपिक है, मुझे लग रहा है इस पे हमको एक बार और चर्चा करनी चाहिए. बहुत सारे लोगों के मन में बहुत सारी बातें रह गई लग रहा है.
Followed by rationalize. You familiarize children and then rationalize it, whether it is justified or not. He's read something, and then if the child able to rationalize it, whether he's able to put certain points or not, means the feedback channel. Third, it should be followed by generalization. Now you bring it beyond that student. Now you take it to other student. What Jaspreet ma'am and everybody told. And the fourth point, it utilize. Until unless the applicability is missed, the reading is always incomplete. Reading book and keeping aside will not make any sense. I might have read 2,000, 3,000 books, but I remember very less, whom sometimes I strike in while speaking. So familiarize children, rationalize it, and generalize and utilize. These are the 4 steps we have to follow. Remarkable session. I agree we should have one more session.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Nagpal, for your inputs at the end. And friends, like Anita ji has added one point कि books gifting का idea होना चाहिए.
Excellent idea.
हाँ, और देखो बहुत सारे बुक्स ऐसी हैं जो अगर आप आजकल फाइंड आउट करें तो पीडीएफ वर्जन्स अवेलेबल है. सो इट इज आपका कुछ नहीं जा रहा, पर हो सकता है किसी को स्टिमुलेशन मिल जाए वो पढ़ने के लिए. सो दैट वाज व्हाट. एंड वन मोर थिंग आई वांटेड टू ऐड इज पढ़ना. जब टेक्स्ट बुक की बात कर रहे थे डॉक्टर अग्रवाल, तो पढ़ना जब हम कहते हैं रीडिंग, तो हमेशा जॉयफुल रीडिंग ही हमारे दिमाग में आता है. बट एसेंशियल रीडिंग for a particular objective or purpose is also important. और जैसा डॉक्टर नागपाल ने बोला कि उसको खोलते ही नींद आ जाती है, या बच्चों को जब बोलो पढ़ने के लिए तो उनको सुसु आ जाती है, पॉटी आ जाती है, भूख लग जाती है, कुछ ना कुछ हो जाता है, उस वक्त उनको उठ के वहां से जाना है. तो one more thing that I have found very useful for generating curiosity is converting the headlines into questions. आप जो टाइटल्स और सबटाइटल्स हैं, जितने भी सब हेडिंग्स हैं, उनको क्वेश्चंस में कन्वर्ट कर दो एंड टेल देम दैट फ्रॉम दिस पैराग्राफ यू हैव टू फाइंड आउट अबाउट दिस एंड टेल मी. So that now is objective based reading. So my dear friends, thank you so much, and I think we will do one more session on reading habits. So with एक अधूरेपन के साथ मैं इसको कंक्लूड कर रही हूँ.
नेक्स्ट वीक का विषय हितल हमारा
जी.
नेक्स्ट वीक का जो विषय है अभी आकाश शेयरिंग इज इम्पोर्टेंस of sleep hygiene for children. So we all meet next Wednesday at 5 p.m. sharp on importance of sleep hygiene for children. Dr. Nagpal Singh is going to be the moderator. Thank you and good night, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.